Hey everybody, it's Hexray Vision, and we are live for another awesome tech talk with special guest Johnny Chaos in the house. So stick around, we'll be here to geek out with you guys and answer your questions, and we'll see you right after the intro. Hey everybody, we have a sweet show here for you guys. A lot of stuff's been going on this week, mostly stuff going on in Testnet. Richard Hart gave well, first of all, he had that, we'll call it a debate because I don't know what else to call it.
A slaughter.
Slaughter. Just like, yeah. And then we also had him give a really great speech at World CryptoCon down in Miami, thanks to T-Money putting that together. So shout out, first of all, to T-Money for putting that together. On Twitter, someone said that somebody pulled the fire alarm while Richard was speaking, and all the hexagons just stayed put.
Yeah,
that's what I heard too.
About that,
you see it in the wall. The light was flashing, but on Richard's headset through him, you couldn't hear it, so he had no idea. But I guess, yeah. Yeah, Blue Bum tweeted about it.
You can't shut him down, baby. Can't shut him down. Johnny, why don't you introduce yourself to anyone who may, for some odd reason, not know who you are?
You know, I found that funny because there were a lot of people at the convention that didn't know me. It was actually kind of neat, you know, because I'm not streaming like the rest of you guys. I'm not like in everybody's faces all the time. So you guys know me, but believe it or not, there are people that don't. So that's okay. Johnny Chaos, CCFX Studios on Twitter. That comes legit. Like that name has been like mine for like the past 20 years, because of my company. So that's where that comes from. So, anyway, no, I've just been day one Hexagon. I came out to the streaming world, because at the time when it was happening, there wasn't a lot of people speaking up. And, I just felt a need that somebody had to correct, you know, the garbage that we were being fed.
Yeah, and you're one of the people that came into Hex as a cynic, right? Like you were poking this thing out, looking for holes. You didn't come in like the rest of us that were like excited and like make me rich, Richard. Like you were actually coming in with quite a bit of skepticism.
No, I didn't trust Richard. I didn't trust crypto. I had been through the ringer. I've tried all the yield coins that they had, anything that would produce any sort of yield, from Neo to the Q coins and their fractional reserve little bits that they would give you. And I tried everything that was out there. And what I was looking for was something that provided some sort of passive income that I wouldn't have to screw with. And it just didn't exist. And, you know, I was pretty much done with crypto, because, you know, I understand that, you know, it takes a substantial amount of money to move markets once they hit certain levels. You know, once something becomes you know, the average person can no longer participate or hold whole units, it becomes very difficult, you know, to get those gains. Your 100x's become 2x's or 4x's, you know, and the best you're going to get once things reach capacity. And that's not what I was looking for. I was looking for something. Literally, I tried to get like a regular CD, and they were paying like 1% for a 10-year lockup. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. And I just couldn't really find any type of investing tool. So no, I was done with crypto. I had enough of it because it's all anonymous founders, nobody taking pride in their work, everybody hiding in the shadows, rug pull after rug pull. Crypto just generally left a bad taste in my mouth. And then when I heard what Richard was building, I listened and I said, you know, hey, if he really does this, if he does this the way he intends to do this, this is what I've been looking for. And, you know, I was skeptical. I didn't trust the guy with the hat, you know. He kind of looked like Willy Wonka going on there. And, you know, that's kind of what I knew him. I'm like, Who's this guy? Who's this shyster type guy? What is it? What's his angle? What's he doing? And then you come to find out, he just wants to win. He found a space in which people are not following through on what they say they're going to do. And he's just made this such an easy competition. I mean, it's not hard to outrun people that are literally just sitting on the bench, right? And so, yeah, I approached it as a skeptic. And I looked at it and I said, all right, where are the flaws? How does this fail? The code is locked. It's programmed. It's hard set. The inflation doesn't change. It's literally just a faucet that distributes the coins to users for staking that doesn't get shut off. And all you got to be doing is standing there with your bucket. Yeah, sounds like a scam. So what do? Yeah, okay, let me run this code and see if it really does what it's supposed to do. Oh my God, the bucket's full. Let me get some more buckets, So yeah, I mean, the only flaw that I ever really saw in the system was the fact that the Ethereum gas fees, okay? It was you have to pay a transaction every time you interact with the contract, and that's an Ethereum thing, not a Hex thing. And but I mean, Richard could have quit there, right? This is where you really got to admire the guy, because he could have quit there. He could have just said no, right? He should have said, that's an Ethereum problem. You guys, those gas fees suck. You better take that up with Vitalik, right? What'd he do? No. This is hurting my people. This is hurting my users. This is hurting, you don't really have to look much farther for his character than that. He could have walked away with the money that he made from Hex, just walked away and never done another thing again. But no, he wanted to protect his users. He wanted to do something great, and he's still building. And as he's building, he's finding more flaws. He's finding more things that people have not finished. He wants to do all of these things that are currently not possible. Admin keyless bridges, right? He found out, well, you just can't do that. Well, why can't you do that? You should be able to do that. He's like, but you can't do that. So he's finding all these limitations that the crypto space actually has. When he worked with the sacrifice fit sets and he was looking at, how these other codes work and how you couldn't even pull data from them because they suck so bad, right? But see, these are not things that people expose because they're busy selling you stick figures. They're selling you stick figures, and they've never had to make a portrait in their life because they're in the business of the stick figure business, right? You can't have an artist come sit down next to you that's drawing portraits and still continue to sell stick figures. And that's what we've got going in the crypto space. So as skeptical as I was, trying to drill holes in the ship and try to make it sink, try to make it fail because I didn't want to believe it myself, I just found, no, it really is that easy. It really was that easy. But the people in power don't want it easy for you. They want to benefit from your lack of knowledge, and it's like, I posted that hug video on Twitter, where I went around and I hugged everybody. I went around and just hugged everybody, right?
Embrace the chaos.
Embrace the chaos. So they say, they look at that, the outsiders are looking at that and they're like, man, they're like a cult, man. What kind of religion is this? Everybody's all kumbaya and everybody loves everybody. Well, what exactly do you expect from an industry that only knows how to pillage each other, right? I mean, that's where they're coming from. They're coming from the angle of exploiting everybody else and not caring who they hurt or who they harm. No wonder they think that's bizarre and weird. But I mean, this is what we're trying to do here. We're trying to build an actual community, right? No wonder it looks like a cult to everybody else, because they're all self-serving, selfish bastards that are trying to exploit others, and that's how they make their living. But no, Richard's not like that. He wants to win, man. He wants to win. If anything you could be certain of, if anything in the world, like him, hate him, whatever, he's going to win. He picked a game he can win, and he's going to win. And they're not putting up much of a fight. They keep shooting themselves in the foot,
And now it's too late, because now the snowball's too big, and now Richard, the treasury is almost unending. Like, what money is no object to whatever Richard wants now. So, okay, we'll build it all ourselves. Here we go. Yeah, just now it's just time. Now we're just building an empire. Yeah, the wallet's next, fiat on ramp, and then Pulsechain. It's over. We've got our own version of crypto, our own everything.
Yeah, outside of the gates. When you guys are done getting beat up in the playground known as crypto with the razor wire, broken glass, landmines, and hand grenades, come on out the gates. We're sitting outside here having a good old time, and you're welcome to come join us.
A new city shining on the hill, right?
Let's give a shout out here to Terrafin. We got Red Squirrel, Wild SJ, Hex 19. We got where's the other guy? Yup K or K Yup? Where'd he go? Yeah, Yup K. He wanted a pants check on the last one. We never did a pants check on that one.
People have been harassing me for that now too.
KCW in the house. Welcome, guys. Thomas Turner, Heinz Crypto in the house. Thank you very much. Goldman Hex from last, I guess from last week is back. Really good people. Mudhog is down here. One of the things that, and of course, Crypto Sloth, he's here too. Yeah, you actually kind of startled me last week when you were mentioning the fact that it's not that Richard Hart is the only one putting together these masterpieces, but the idea that he might be one of the only people to have the ability to pull some of this stuff off is something that I hadn't actually considered. I always thought, yeah, sure, there's some geniuses out in the space. A lot of people consider Charles Hoskinson very intelligent. Vitalik Buterin did put together, some of the code. There's a lot of really intelligent people, and I thought for some reason, maybe they just haven't gotten around to it. Maybe they're not as good with people and
maybe
HR
they're at capacity.
And maybe I had never considered that till you brought that up last week. But then again, no one's had to deliver on anything in crypto before,
right? And
make hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah, and if you think about it, okay, look, no matter how much you want somebody to run a 4-minute mile, I don't see Charles Hodgkins running a 4-minute mile, right? You can't ask him to run a 4-minute mile. It ain't going to happen, right? There are very few people in the world that can do that, okay? So when a person's at capacity, they're at capacity. Maybe they can't do any better. Maybe they can't. You can't force a person to do something that's beyond their capacity. And if they don't have the willingness and eagerness to learn, or they've been rewarded for mediocre behavior, perhaps they don't have a reason to push any farther or learn anymore. So, yeah, I mean, ADA has never been able to do smart contracts, okay? A person might be able to build one thing, but they might not be able to build another thing.
Correct.
It's clearly possible that was never the design intent, never within the realm of capabilities, and just something that was promised because it was, I can promise you that a Pinto would do 200 miles an hour, but it's never going to do that, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
so,
Cardano's vaporware.
I promise you, it's just not built within its capabilities of doing that. You have to start over. You have to start over and build something that can, and people just assume that there's going to be an upgrade that's going to make something happen. Well, what happens, do you see Tandy 1000s around right now that are upgraded to run on the internet today? Not really. I'm sure somebody's probably got one rigged up somewhere, but I mean, for the most part, new technology comes in and it takes the place and it does the work that other things can't, and it's frustrating to me to see an innovative space that is so anti-innovation. They are so afraid to change.
Well said.
And innovation is nothing if not for change. So it's like, how can you be anti-change, anti-innovation in an innovative space? It doesn't make any sense. So there's only one rational explanation. They're not innovative. They're comfortable. That's what they are. They're not innovative. They're comfortable. They're able to succeed at the level that they're at, and that's good enough for them. And that allows for new people to come in that have bigger dreams, bigger visions, and they're going to apply that. And that's how innovation is made. And innovation comes out of necessity too, right? If Ethereum would have done what it was supposed to do, okay,
Pulsechain would never exist.
There would never be a pulse chain. Innovation comes out of necessity. When there is a forced position where, in order to continue progress, steps have to be taken in order to improve the design.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you get the mediocrity where people accept. Like, you get the people that say, this is how we've always done it. Those are not the innovators, my friends.
Yeah, these are tools, right? So we're constantly upgrading our tools. And anybody you just crushed also the Bitcoin Maxis, whole big thing is, oh, Bitcoin's fine enough, it's perfect, it's great.
Prototype.
It's like, no, it's not. It's just the first. It's ancient. It's like a 200-year-old hammer that my grandfather had versus the new one at Home Depot. It's like,
it's the wheel. We built the Lambo.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Yep.
How many active users do you guys think Cardano has currently?
No idea.
I don't
Just
even
a guess.
Like
friends,
using
to be
their
honest, I don't even
smart
look, man.
contracts.
Active users, wallets, active wallets.
I won't even touch that
100,000?
chain.
So how much?
100,000.
107,000. And
Wow.
Cardano is just they are just hyped up and touted so much, dude. Their
Staker
marketing
X had
machine is
more
big.
downloads.
But
Why aren't they asking Charles where the ETH went?
Say again.
Why aren't they asking Charles where the ETH went?
Dude, I feel like Charles, he gets on a live stream maybe once every month or two, and then just says all this crazy stuff to get people hyped up. And then he disappears for another month or two and then comes back on to get people's hope up. And where's the ETH?
And in the meantime, he flies around. He's got the Bitcoin maximal professional lap sitter sitting on his lap with his martini, and he's just flying around the world having a good old time.
He is.
Not doing a damn thing.
He is.
Charles is like the example of how not to work.
Yeah, and he
Seriously.
constantly talks about how he owns Africa. Everything's going to come out of Africa.
Well, and let's not forget, there's Dan Larimer. Back in the day, Dan Larimer created basically the stock market on the blockchain, BitShares, right? He brought BitShares that was his first big project after, because he was one of the homies, the original ETH homies with Hoskinson, right? And nobody wanted to work with any of those guys back in the day. So Dan Larimer went off, made BitShares. Then he made something before he made EOS. What did he make in between there? I don't remember. Anyway, so he comes out with EOS. Everyone's got all these big hopes and dreams for EOS. And then they come up with, I think Voice was the KYC version of Facebook that they launched on EOS after billions of dollars and all of this hype and time and all these developers. They came up with a crappy Facebook, right? And I mean, that's not that long ago. I mean, maybe 2 to 4 years ago that all happened. But these are the geniuses in the crypto space right now. This is what they're bringing to us is, crappy Facebook and, a ghost chain on Cardano.
You ever stop to think crypto is where the leftover programmers go? Did you ever stop to think of that? Instead of building games and game design and high definition graphics and everything, crypto is basically the HTML code that some people can master. That it's not really that damn complicated. What is crypto? It's a damn spreadsheet. How many people can make spreadsheets, right? So when you really look at it, with all the advanced technology, the improving of 3D and virtual reality, and all this advanced programming going on, these engines to build new and higher graphics ratios and such, where are these people? They're still working on databases. So just soak that in for a second. And the worst thing is, not only that, they can't even make them operate right. Soak it in for a second, okay? Again, I say Richard picked a space where there is no competition. There is no competition because he found a space where nobody is doing what they say they're going to do. It's like an easy win, an absolute easy win. The biggest representation of Bitcoin have no idea how to code, have no idea how anything works, right? They can't debate him on that level because they don't understand programming. Okay, they don't know why the thing they bought went up, so they make excuses to justify the reasons why they believe it went up instead of understanding what it is that they actually hold. That's the problem, right? So I don't understand why people think they're going to have a debate on a topic that they have no experience in whatsoever. That's insane. I'm not going to have a topic about computer programming. Okay. I know basic HTML. I know how to run, takeover functions and stuff like, building with RPG Maker. I've done some minor coding stuff, but I'm not going to build VR. Okay. I'm not going to build the stuff like Crypto Kool-Aid does. No way in hell, I ran basic C+ programming language back in school and DOS, and I got an understanding of the languages, but I'm not a programmer, right? So why would I want to have a conversation with someone who's like, I'm not even gonna go into servers because David here can tell you about servers. That's his thing. He understands that. He can build computers. You know where my computer goes? My computer goes to the computer shop, but I'm not going to pretend I know everything that's in my computer. And that's what these people do. They want to pretend they know everything about everything, and they know nothing. And then someone like Richard comes on and he exposes that. And that's why they hate him so, because he just points it out so matter-of-factly, right? You can't say you're 6 foot tall and then stand next to a 6 foot tall person and you're only 5'5" and say, nope, I'm still 6 foot tall. And that's what they're doing. They look so lame that they're trying to defend their points. And it's like so obvious and so in everybody's faces. So what did they have to do? They had to pull the video. They had to pull the video. What else are they going to do? That totally, it's the man behind the curtain. It totally destroys their illusion that they know what they're talking about. You ever listen to one of Michael Saylor's speeches about Bitcoin? What planet is the man from? Okay, that is nothing relevant to Bitcoin whatsoever. It's like, what are you talking about? Bizarre.
Yeah.
It's like trying to explain that the color red is blue or something. I mean, it's so blatantly. But here's the thing, right? So how do they get away with this? They get away with it simple, because people take things at face value. They don't expect a person to literally look you in the eyes and just lie to you. And that's what these people do. They literally look you in the eyes and they lie to you. And they believe it themselves because they convince themselves of their own bullshit that their excuses that they make up are reality for them, right? And people believe it.
The problem too is, man, they like that guy that Richard murdered on stream. He had to do everything possible to save face, including the ad hominem attacks. And it's because he's built his entire brand on Bitcoin, and he has to appeal to all of those peers of his who are looking at him to try to fight Richard. He can't agree, literally can't, because he's put himself in that situation. So his problem is, if he does agree with Richard, then he's going to have to rebuild his entire brand, or he thinks he does. Where if he pivoted towards the truth, it would be much better for him in the long run.
Well, it's hilarious. Who was the guy attacking him? A guy that went on Shark Tank. What does he know how to do? He knows how to build so far and then flip. Mm-hmm. That's what he does. He builds so far, and what did he say? He says, well, we're going to flip it. Why? Because it needs to be handed off to more technically adequate people that can finish the product through fruition. So what do these people do? They go so far and they pass it off. So they think Bitcoin is the next Silicon Valley. They are literally pumping their own bags, dump it on your head, buy it back later, and start saying Bitcoin is God again so that they can rinse and repeat. These people are rinse and repeat artists. That's what they are, right? Rinse and repeat artists. That's all they know. That's the only thing they've got in their wheelhouse to understand. And they'll look at you in the eyes and they'll say, I'm not selling, until they're selling. Mm-hmm. And I mean, people don't judge the character because they don't research the people that are having these things. Tone, what's he do? He sells trading courses. What else does he do? He sells somebody else's product. He sells the Tom DeMark indicator, right? That's not his product. He didn't build it. Oh, but I tweaked it. Oh my God. It's like getting a website and you changed a picture on it. Oh my gosh, you are so talented. Wow, check you out. Your add to innovation is you promoted somebody else's stuff that you changed a few settings on. I mean, this is accepted as competence in this space. Could you not pick a better space to compete in? Right? It's like being a black belt in martial arts to go and fight a bunch of white belts. I mean, it's not fair.
Right. Well, and Richard Hart said the best way to win a debate is to know
Right.
your opponent's side better than they know it. And he was framing and actually offering really good suggestions to the Bitcoin maxis, being like, hey, here's some
Telling them
better
how to
language.
fight better. Yeah.
Here's a better way to frame your argument. Here's a better promotion. These are better words for you to use. And they're like,
don't
no,
stick
it's
your
not.
jaw out so I can hit it so easy, guys. Would you just tuck your chin a little bit?
Yeah, it was rough. And the thing that I thought of when I was listening to that debate was the fact that there's probably about 2,000 hexagons that, because they've spent so much time learning from Richard Hart streams, they could have beat those three with their hands tied behind their back, because you knew what Richard was going to say. Usually as the person was bringing up problem, there was quite a couple of really good ones he brought out that I didn't think of before, like where he talks about how franchises grow and scale. He's like, look, you're not gonna make a giant McDonald's. You'll build another one down the block, and so on and so forth. He brought out a lot of really great common sense ideas, and I don't know. It was really fun to watch, just because they kept like being intellectually dishonest. So you wanted to see them get beaten worse and worse.
I almost thought Richard was starting to feel bad for him, man. Like you said,
he did change his tone. He changed his
guys,
tone.
I'm going to knock you out.
Yeah.
This is not how you defend this position. Let me, it's like, it was just so funny, because it's like, you gotta feel bad for him, right? Because I mean, this is like all they know,
Well, and their livelihood depends on it too. It's not just like this is their hobby or this is their passion. This is how these people are making money.
They can't pivot. They can't pivot. They're too far. They're too far gone.
It's like learning a totally different set of job skills, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's really what it comes down to. This is their job. This is the space. This is how they make their living. They would have to develop a completely different set of job skills. Like, I don't know, actually learn what blockchain is and how to use it. Other than just promoting, selling promises, filling people's heads with garbage. It's selling their Bybit links, shilling their courses, selling their tickets, whatever. It's just
their rooftop parties.
Yeah.
Parties.
Have you seen their parties though? I mean, oh my God, dude. It's like, I had a bigger turnout day one of my store that nobody even hardly knows about than some of these Bitcoin conventions. It's like, come on. And then you go to the Hexagon party, like everybody's just, it's like, oh my God, it's like they would not understand our reality. They can't grasp that reality. They can't grasp a reality where people support each other, where people share each other's videos.
We're not each other out.
We're having educational conversations on topic. They don't get that. It's just, nope, buy Bitcoin. It's the future. I'm going to Slayer. Let me sell you this Tandy 1000. It's
not about the money. It's not about the money. Bitcoin's not about the money.
Not about the money.
Not about the money, my ass. And then 5 seconds later, in what he say? Well, it wouldn't be $50,000, then would it? Literally, like, you should just clip that spot where it goes, it's not about the money, blah 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 blah. It's like, are you kidding me, dude? You can't even hold your own point for more than 5 seconds. I mean,
let's address one of the questions here from Wild SJ. Because they don't want to, she doesn't want to get wrecked as she attends to HODL. What are the most important things she should know how to do before mainnet? So what should people be pressing on testnet?
Just get familiar. Yeah, go ahead, Feeder.
Yeah, I mean, first thing, it depends what you're trying to do, but you should definitely check out the bridge. That's huge, because then that's how you're going to move coins from Pulsechain to Ethereum, so you can go back and forth. And then the next big one is PulseX.com. Check out the exchange. Try it. Swap some test coins. Try the testnet, and make your mistakes now. Get them out of the way, and then when mainnet comes, you'll be all set. So that's what I would recommend: is try everything you can.
Yeah, and K4K, he's been telling everyone, get on here, figure this out. And in fact, on Rags After Dark the other night, they were saying the same thing. He was saying, if you jump on and know how to provide liquidity or pool liquidity in the first few hours, you could be making millions of percent of return in the first few hours before everyone else joins in.
And this is some risky stuff, though, because of how the liquidity pools are balanced and stuff. You can, my best advice for people not to get wrecked, if they're uncomfortable, is do nothing. If you're really uncomfortable, your best bet is do nothing. Okay. Take advantage of the testnet while it's there to try some things out, but realize that that isn't the real world yet. And things are going to function differently once the real world and the real markets take over. But, holding is the best situation. Now there's staking functions and stuff, and you can learn those. But I want to tell people, don't be excited to start jumping in there and slinging, start slinging coins here and slinging coins there. That impulse to immediately jump in and just start doing stuff, that is more likely to get you wrecked than if you just kind of set out for a bit and let things straighten themselves out. I mean, all of this stuff is going to go up in value, and it's going to go up quickly. And if you have a longer term horizon, then you don't really care what the price is doing imminently. Yes, you may miss that sale for that one time, that one day, but you risk much more by being impulsive and trying to act and react to the markets when you're not experienced doing that. And that is going to get you hurt.
Impulsive, like pun intended, dude.
Impulsive. That is kind of a fun thing. But I mean, yeah, don't be impulsive on Pulse. So so I mean that's the way you want to look at it. If you're uncomfortable, don't try to get in and do that. If you look at Hex, okay, you could have sold before big payday when everybody when it hit its high and then it dumped, right? You could have sold before then, but where would you have been better off? If you had done absolutely nothing, you would have been better off, right? Yes, there would have been a time where you were down, but then what happened? We went from a penny. If you sold the first year of Hex, you sold for a penny or less. So you made an action thinking that Hex was not going to do anymore. It was done. It was over. You sold for a penny. What did it do then? Went all the way up to 50 some odd cents. Yeah, now we're back down a little bit, but still the best case scenario, any way you look at it, was to do nothing. Just let your stakes do their thing and sit back and just relax. You want to stake your PulseX? Go ahead and do that. You want to provide small amounts of liquidity? You can do that, but you need to understand that liquidity does have impermanent losses, and there is going to be ratios flipping around all over the place, and it is possible that you can lose money in that because one asset may outperform the other, and you need to really understand liquidity providing before you just jump in and do that.
And I'm going to say this too. I made a video yesterday for brand new people, and it's entitled "How to Make $1 Million." Now, the problem with that is, I work at McDonald's and I haven't made $100,000 in my life, and I am a furu, but it may be good for somebody to go take a look at that video, because I think that there's some important fundamentals that you can learn from that. So I'm shilling my own stuff, but it's very applicable to what we're talking about.
Probably weren't supposed to like, subscribe, or follow.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm a furu and you shouldn't listen to me. I already said that. Gosh. But yeah, somebody asked about the PRT token.
Party token. Party!
And I think it was something to the effect of, is it truly like no risk if you're staking your PLSX? It's no risk.
That one is correct. Just doing the, what are they called? Is it pools or farms? Let me check.
Yeah, it's pools.
Pools. Yep. So the pools are fine. The pools are zero risk. You're literally just staking your PulseX temporarily. You're getting this other coin. Right now it's called Party Coin. On Mainnet, it'll be all kinds of new coins that are launching. And they want to give out coins to people on PulseX holders for free. So it's like an airdrop for us. You can go there, stake your PulseX for free, and you get free coins. And
So
then
it's kind of like the party token is kind of like the uni token in a way.
correct.
Because it's given out for
It's like an
earning in the
airdrop.
pool. So yeah, you're basically you're just getting this token for free because you're leaving your money in there. So it only pays to people that are leaving their money in there. So there's no risk. So your same number of pulse are going to be in there. You're not losing anything. However, the party token, what its value will be, or what its name will be, we don't know, but what its value will be based on the liquidity that is provided on PulseX for it, so that it can be sold on the market. And I don't really know what kind of demand there's going to be for that particular token. But then again, people bought the Uniswap token too.
And I know the answer for party. On mainnet, party won't exist. It's just a demo.
Okay.
It's just a placeholder for other projects who may exist in the future and want to use that as their distribution model.
Okay.
Yeah, because maybe I make like Dave coin, and I'm like, hey, I want to give Dave coin to, I want to like hand it out to some people, get it going. Let's get it started, and let's incentivize liquidity pool. I can make Dave coin, and then, have the PulseX DAO has to vote for it, and then they add that pool, and then I can give them away for free.
Okay, so that's not an incentive token.
Correct. Yeah, like party means third party. Like it's a placeholder for other people in the future.
So, well, that's actually kind of interesting, because what this does is it opens up the gate for other coins to launch on this as a launch pad.
Exactly.
To distribute their token and gain popularity without being listed on a centralized exchange and having to pay their stupid extortion fees for listing.
Bingo.
Wow.
Yep. And then with the PulseX DAO, we can vote. Right now, there's the pool for party versus, I think it's PLSX.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you add liquidity for those two, and then you get the LP tokens and you stake them, and then you gain incentive token. So people are even incentivized to add their party that they harvest every day for free. They're incentivized to add that as liquidity.
So imagine if you were a new project and you needed help with liquidity, and you could just have hexagons and pulsicans provide the liquidity for you.
Oh, wow.
And so that's why these projects, when they come to us and they'll say, hey, hexagons, I want to start and I want to give out my coins for you guys for free. That's how we vote them onto the PulseX pool, so we can mine it for free.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So, oh my God. So that adds another layer. I was just looking at the fact that, this is the PulseX exchange is basically checkmate for decentralized exchanges. Or it's checkmate for centralized exchanges as well, because if they don't want to list the PRCs, or they don't want to list Pulse, people are getting all those tokens for free. Therefore, they have to go somewhere that has them in order to trade them. And once they're in and they have the experience of next to nothing for fees and the ability to trade on chain, and they learn that, much like we've learned Uniswap, and we learned, the advantages to decentralized exchanges, because Ethereum basically crushed DEXs with raising their Ethereum fees. They literally secured a position for the centralized exchanges to continue, running amok. Because really, if Uniswap would have worked as designed, it would have totally crushed the centralized exchanges, because crypto was never supposed to have all the middlemen. You were supposed to be able to interact directly with the blockchain from your own wallet. That was the design. And had the fees have stayed down, it would have crushed the centralized exchanges, because who's going to go there and risk third-party risk when you could literally just do, basically atomic swaps and that kind of exchange. So now with PulseX, you're going to be able to do it for penny fees, and you don't have to worry about some foundation deciding to jack you with gas fees in order to preserve their own interests, right? Or payoffs from big exchanges, because let's face it, we know Richard. You can't buy Richard. You can't afford him.
I've got a question about that. If we do wipe out the middlemen and lower the fees, are we actually going to see crypto used as peer-to-peer cash?
Yeah.
Like Bitcoin Cash, that was their battle cry, right? Like, let's actually make this peer-to-peer payment. right? What's it going to
Well,
take
because
for
of the
people to do
laws.
that
So
in real life?
that's going to come down to the laws, because there's still money transmitter laws and bullshit like that. But you can, like, I don't know, I own a store, I can sell my products for hex, right? But I can't sell you hex, right? So, but there's ways around every law, like, for instance, I don't know, I could sell you this CD, and this CD happens to come with hex and equivalent to the value of this CD. So I mean, there are ways around things, but well, Richard likes the store value and not so much the use case of the currencies anyway, because if you're constantly selling it, then because people need to take money in the real world. So if it's used as a currency, then it has to be sold for real value at some point, and that does affect the price. But I mean, I don't know, man. It could very well be heading that direction in a way that it couldn't before, because I mean, they're basically shooting themselves in their own foot. That they're stopping their own innovation. They don't want it to get that far. It's hard to control. See, this is the thing, right? We talk about decentralization. They talk about decentralization. But do they really want it? No, they don't. They want centralization where they are in control. They don't want it to grow, to decentralize. They say they do. They market that to you. They tell you it's the future, and that's what they want. But what they want is they just want to be at the top of the food chain, and they want everybody else to compete over the scraps, because they've seen it work in the real world. And now that they're in power in the new world, they want to hold on to that. And they don't work on the basis of promoting others, raising those up around you, and trying to, trying to get folk. They're self-centered. They're all about them. They're all about, I'm going to get mine. That's where they're at. That's their mindset. So they're not working towards decentralization. They use that word, but that is not their intent. Because once it becomes decentralized, they lose control. And that's what we see right now, is they are losing control over this space. And I mean, look, it's checkmate move with PulseX. Okay, it's checkmate. Because look, if you don't want to list us, we have the store that has everything. You have the store that only has some things. What happens when you have a store that only has some things? People go to the big box stores that have everything. And what's happening now? Amazon has even more than the big box stores. So that's why Amazon is now 40% of all internet commerce. Now soak this in. What if PulseX is 40% of all crypto commerce?
Oh man. Oh.
I think David Feeder is going to have to go have a cigarette.
David's got a
Yeah, I'll leave another sip of beer. Wow.
So, and it's not that hard. It's not that hard. You offer the people what they want. You give the people what they want. They want a lot of shiny objects, then list all the damn shiny objects. I've got a store. I can't say I'm going to sell certain things and not sell certain other things. I can try to restrict my product line, but if I've got customers kicking in my door saying, you need to list this because I want to buy it, I'm going to provide it, because that's only smart business. You don't keep product off your shelf that you know you're going to sell. You don't do that. You literally provide what the people want, and that's how you grow a business. And what we're looking at now is we're looking at this compartmentalizing thing where they're trying to control the flow of what everybody does. The market cap sites, the exchanges, the listing fees, what the influencers talk about. They are literally trying to control everybody's perspective, put them in a line, and tell them what they can and can't buy and what they can and can't participate in. And PulseX opens that, because anything you want, whether it's a shit coin or whether it's a hot new product that you've never heard of, it's going to be there, whether anybody likes it or not. Unstoppable, can't be stopped.
Yeah, fast and cheap too. Cheap, the gas, it'll be affordable. You can come into Pulsechain and do a swap for a nickel, or make a stake for a penny or a dime or whatever it is, under $1. Like that's going to really open the gates, I think.
Yeah, Crypto Captain is on the same page here. He's talking about how it has been really difficult to onboard people, even people with $1,000 that I've been helping onboard lately, because you still got to stomach at least $100 to $300 in fees, no matter how careful you are.
Does that sound like these guys
to get their ladder in place?
Does that sound like these guys are interested in adoption? Does that sound like the Ethereum Foundation is interested in adoption?
They don't care. No.
Care,
but they don't care.
The other thing is, it's the Bitcoin folks, and this is what we really, really have to focus on soon. I think they control the narrative, right?
Yeah.
So you look at the major news outlets for cryptocurrency. You look at the Cointelegraphs, 99 Bitcoins, Coinpedia, Crypto Slate, Bitcoin.com News, Bitcoin Magazine. They control this, and they control that gate. They are the gatekeepers. So this is nice that we have the infrastructure, and I think we need to pivot pretty quickly, and I'm sure there people are, to get our own news sources out there.
Yeah.
Because whoever controls the narrative controls the game. Yeah. That's going to be very important for us.
Well, that's why we're building outside the gates.
Right.
So let them go ahead. Go get torn up in the playground with razor wire, explosives, and broken glass. And then when you come out of the gates, we'll be there to pick you back up. Because, I mean, that's what it comes down to. The other thing is getting first. Being there first, right? If people's first experience, I mean, all right, who watches the news now? Do you watch the news? Do you watch cable TV? Does anybody watch the news? No. You know what people are watching right now? Streams. Top of the algorithms, guys. Look up Hex. Where do you find us? We're there. Okay? Inevitably, sooner or later, people are going to figure out who's making sense and who doesn't. Right? They're going to figure out who's incompetent and who's not. You listen to these people try to explain Bitcoin like it's some kind of magical unicorn thing, and in all actuality, it's a damn database. Okay?
Spreadsheet.
Do what?
It's a spreadsheet.
It's a spreadsheet, yeah. I mean, that's it. It keeps it fair. And then it's using an outdated algorithm, yeah. So it's inevitably the narrative will change, but it will take time. Okay. The reason why Bitcoin stayed so flat for so long is because the internet grew, guys. People started talking about it. People had more reach than they did. Okay. Bitcoin did not have 80 plus streamers in their first 2 years. Bitcoin did not have 600 people conferences in their first 2 years. Bitcoin didn't have NASCARs, billboards, taxi cabs, record albums with full of Hex songs. I mean,
how about parties and workshops?
Cakes, the parties.
They weren't doing public workshops and teaching people about Bitcoin in its first year.
40 state conferences. Yes. So, I mean, Bitcoin had none of what we had, nor did they have the internet and live streaming to the point that we have now, as where live streaming is literally replacing what is known as the news. I haven't watched cable TV in 7 years. So them owning that sphere of influence on corporate media doesn't matter anymore. People have voices. So what do they do now? They try to shut channels down. Why? Because they know. They know that people are going to listen. They know that people are going to figure out who to listen to and who not. But God, guys, I mean, I try not to get all moon boy, but if you look at what Bitcoin did in its first 2 years, and you looked at the fact that in the first year people were selling it at 30 cents, it seems very familiar. And they had nothing of what we had, nothing of it.
Blaine One had a question earlier asking where he can find tutorials on how to do this stuff on Testnet. Both David Feeder and K4K Crypto both have tutorials that are really good, and Crypto Coffee. So look up all their tutorials. They're very easy to follow along and play around on Testnet. And then he also asked, do you guys think that bots will take over the public burn feature?
I was thinking about how to make one because it's a fight on the PulseX website to click the button. I was actually thinking, how can I use my node at home here and write a script?
The mouse. I love the mouse click button. Everyone's gonna fight over that thing, man. Yeah. It's like no, my food pellet. No, your food pellet. My food pellet.
Yes. So somebody is going to make a robot script that tries every 100 milliseconds. If the price of what they earn is worth more than the gas just by a little bit, the robot will take it. So I expect that to happen. Yes.
I don't want the bots. I want everybody fighting over the button. It's too fun.
I know.
Too fun for
I
everybody
know.
to fight over the button.
I wonder if they could lock it down to just the button. I'm not sure. Probably not. Like there's always code behind the scenes, so they can always use a robot. So I wish there was a way to just make it the button. But I kind of don't. I'm disappointed it's not part of when you make a swap. There's not like a little toggle button where you could add it to your own swap and then you get the PulseX as a little rebate. It's a bummer that everybody's got to sit there and fight for the button. You know, it's like, I'm not going to sit there and click that all day. I don't care about that.
Button's awesome because it lets everybody click the rat button. And it can happen. Well, what's nice about that, David, is because if, you know, it's so random, right? It had to be randomized because if it was like happening like a certain period of time during the day, then you got the bots that are going to be using that to arbitrage, you know when the price is running up and then do sandwich attacks and stuff like that. So it had to be random, and you can't get much more random than everybody just wanting to tap the button, you know? So I like that because it just, you know, it takes away from that let it build up and then, you know, where it might be a profitable trade for somebody to build a bot to run the price up and down. So, I mean, there's always going to be some of that. We're never going to get away from it completely, but I like that idea that it's so random.
Yeah, I want to address Jawa says the biggest problem is also people's unrealistic expectations of getting retirement rich on $200. But this goes back to what we were talking about with the fees. Because when the fees were less than 10 cents on Ethereum, I onboarded everyone I talked to because even if they didn't have 20 or 50 bucks, I was giving them 20 or 50 bucks, and we were creating stake ladders on 20 and 50 bucks. And here we are 2 years later, and it might not be retirement money, that 20 or 50 bucks, but it's brand new car money. It's like down payment on a house money, that same 20 or 50 bucks that I was gifting people. And so how fast are we going to be onboarding people when you can literally give out $20 bills to friends, family, and shoot people you meet on the street and actually have them watch that on their staker app on their phone, double and triple and quadruple. And then they start calling you and texting you and saying, hey, I just sold that car in my garage that, you know, I've been working on. I just sold this or that, or I just got a bonus from work. I want to get this into the ecosystem. I want to get some more stakes. And that's what happened all the time in the first year of Hex when the fees were low. So I agree, $200 is probably not I don't know, $200 in Pulse or PulseX in 5 years. It might be a silly amount of money.
Could be a lot.
Maybe
because even with Hex, $200 back on that January 5th, that would have got you what, 3 million Hex, give or take. It was 1.5 million, I think, for $100 the best day.
1.8 on day 33. It was 1.8 million on day 33.
Yeah,
our average Ethereum price was about $100. So yes, $200 would have gotten you almost 4 million Hex. 4 million Hex.
At the peak would put you over a millionaire. So yeah, I mean, you could have over $1 million for $200. Yeah, that's how it works. So with PulseX and Pulsechain, you may have to wait 5-6 years to get there, but it's possible. Yeah, totally.
Set it and forget it. Do nothing. That's what I'm saying. Just it's the in and out stuff that gets you wrecked in crypto. It's getting emotional. It's listening to, or I think if I sell now, I'll buy back later at cheaper because someone said it's going down to 6 cents. You still waiting for that 6 cents? Still waiting for that 6 cents?
It's gonna be.
It's 5 years.
You're gonna be waiting a long time for that 6 cents, people.
5 years, no touchy. You can't really say that enough. 5 years, no touchy.
If you want the big money, that's how long you got to wait. And one of the here's a recommendation real quick for people. Like if you're on Coinbase, let's just pretend you're a Coinbase customer. Start getting your dry powder ready now. Save that $200 every paycheck up until Pulsechain launches, and then get yourself a whole bunch of Ethereum or USDC, and then bridge it into Pulsechain and go shopping in the beginning, and get yourself $200 of this and $200 of that, and start stacking up. Start saving now for when Pulsechain launches, and you'd be surprised what you could pick up.
Daniel Polk asks, what are the transaction fees on Pulse in 2 years if Pulse does the 10,000x? Well, it's dust of a penny right now, right?
Yeah, right now it's like dust.
So let's say it gets up to a penny or 10 cents. Is that gonna make you furious if you got to pay 10 cents on transaction?
You'll be a millionaire.
Yeah, at this point, paying $10 on Pulse sounds like very pleasant in considering what we've already experienced of $1,000 end stakes. You know, I got a $10,000 stake that costs $1,000 to end, and I'm literally going to let it bleed because I am not paying Ethereum another goddamn dollar. I will lose my $9,000 before I pay them another $1,000.
Oh, geez, Rick.
Oh, geez, Rick.
I'm an Ethereum miner. It doesn't all go to bad people.
Hex19 says private chains are like private lands. All need to adopt the popular public chain. We need to make Pulse, though, one all to go.
Oh, it will be. It will be. Everybody's going to want to go there.
And by all means, guys, I'm not being totally stupid, but paying Ethereum fees of 10% of a total stake that they had nothing to do with, that
sucks.
And the other thing is, when Pulsechain does launches, Ethereum fees are going to go down. So I'm not just being that damn stubborn. I mean, they will go down. And yes, you can literally let something, if something goes up double in value, right? During a period of time, if you let it bleed for a year and it doubles in value, you've not lost anything.
That's right. You're breaking even. You're right.
So there are some things that people don't understand. Just because your stake is bleeding, people feel compelled that, I bleed. And that was by design to make you feel that way, the way that it works. But if the price doubles, from a year, if it doubles, you've really lost nothing. So if it goes up a little bit, then you make that extra money for that Ethereum fee. So it's really not that big deal. It's the fact that the bleed places that whole urgency on us, and it gets people all worked up, but that's by design. It's supposed to. Mm-hmm. How are we supposed to get extra fees if you're not worried about the bleed, right?
What I would recommend for that too is if it costs $1,000 to do your stake right now, but the GUI, like the gas price is like 50 or 60, wait until that late Saturday night, late Sunday night. A $1,000 hex stake unlock might turn into 400. You can sometimes get over half off on your gas if you wait till late at night, like 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I get a lot of bargains.
Yeah, I'm just worried about getting the copy right now. I'm sure a couple months we're gonna have the copy over there anyway, and then I'll end it, over there, and then we'll see how the fees drop. It's not that big of a deal.
Ironically, ETH fees are going to go up when Pulsechain launches because everybody's going to be bridging all their stuff over, so that's going to burn gas all everybody.
Well, yeah, it's going to take a little bit of time. It's not going to be an instantaneous fix.
Yeah, everybody's ETH wallets just drained into the Pulsechain bridge.
Well, Salmon says after mainnet bridging eHex, will it hold its real value on Pulsechain or no? Yeah, I think that the value on Pulsechain is going to be higher than the value on ETH, because as the dust settles, the whales and the big boys are going to be keeping all their stuff on Ethereum because they can afford to pay the fees on Ethereum, right?
Well, here's the thing that people don't think about too. Okay, they're looking at this closed window, right? They're trying to look through this little porthole. What's it going to be at this point in time? Are you staked? If you're staked, who cares? Stop trying to look through the portal. Stop trying to think you're going to do some kind of maneuver, because the people that are thinking, I'm going to do some kind of maneuver, you're going to get your ass wrecked. I'm telling you right now. You think you're going to do some clever maneuver? It's probably already been thought of, and you're going to get your ass wrecked. So what you need to do is you need to sit back, relax. You're staked anyway. If you've got the liquid, then okay, fine. Chill. Wait for a pullback. If it drops, buy some more. If it drops, buy some more. What you don't want to be doing is going, oh my God, it's pumping, I'm going to miss out, let me get in now, because then it does go back down, right? So try not to be impulsive.
Peter Danis 87 is asking for an update where we are on the class action.
Let me tell you about the lawsuit. I'm going to tell you about the lawsuit. None of your business. We done now, okay? We're not talking about lawsuit anymore. Nobody who asks is going to get any information. You know why? Because my opinion doesn't matter. Your opinion doesn't matter. Nobody's opinion matters. The only person that matters is the judge when they crack the gavel down. And if we talk about it, we screw up our potential for default. So no, I'm not going to give my enemies any information on how to better address the situation. So I'm not making any more information public ever. You'll know when the hammer falls.
What do you guys think is going to happen to USDC after the fork?
I expect the P USDC, like it's going to be less than a penny. It's going to be so cheap. It's going to be like nothing because you can't redeem them, right? Whereas EUSDC, the Ethereum US dollar coins, me personally, I'm bridging in a whole shit ton of them. I'm taking them from my Coinbase, from my MetaMask, into the bridge, into Pulsechain. And then I'm going to spend EUSDC on PulseX to buy the coins I want. So that's what I think is going to happen to it. But as far as like free copy you get of it, that's garbage.
Okay. Bufo on the beat says, once you're providing liquidity, staking your PulseX, liquidity providing and earning the incentive token, is there a way to see how many of each Pulse or PulseX you've gained or lost? Or is there no way to know until you unstake and swap out?
Right now, there's no way to tell until you like pull your liquidity, and then you'll see what you're left over with. Somebody's gonna have in the future would have to make a website that would show you that, but right now there's no way to see it. So good luck. Yeah, that's a risk right now. You won't know until you do it.
Awesome. Looking for more. Get your questions in the chat. We'll jump on those whenever we have the chance to, and we're not talking about other stuff here. Now, like I said, with the conference coming up in September, what do you guys think are the chances of Pulse launching before or after PulseCon 2022?
I mean, I'm personally not going to make an appearance if it doesn't launch, but I certainly expect it to. But if it doesn't, I won't be there.
Because it seems to outsiders like me that a lot of stuff's going really well on Pulse on Testnet, right? Like there's some little bugs here and there, some hiccups and stuff, and they're just starting to turn on the DAO voting. Is that correct? Is that the voting that Richard referred to earlier today on Twitter?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So that they're going to start testing out the voting mechanism. And what are we voting on with that mechanism, guys?
Just any sort of changes, any sort of where we want to provide liquidity, just anything like that. I actually tried to put one up, a vote to remove you from YouTube, but for some reason it wouldn't let me. It didn't have enough of something. But I tried right before this. So yeah,
remove me from YouTube. I ain't got one.
Yeah, just proposals. It allows us to stay competitive. It allows us to have something that can be dynamic, and we can shift with the market if need be, and we can vote on it.
Yeah, and I think it's mostly going to be used for which third-party tokens are going to be added to those one-sided pools, and then which pairs of coins do we want to give incentive token to, and how much incentive token do we want to give, right? Because that's how we attract liquidity. You know, we're like Hex versus EUSDC. I vote for that one. I want those guys who put in Hex and put in USDC. I want them to get incentive tokens so that way we can all go and trade and not have a lot of slippage.
Connor's got some pushback. He says to David, you can pull from the farm, but keep your LP. Initiate the breaking of your LP token. It'll tell you what you'll receive, and then you just reject the transaction. I did see.
Cool. Awesome.
I did see a harvest button on one of K4K's videos. Did I or did I not? Where it showed like the incentive token was climbing, and you could just hit harvest and pay a fee to pull that out as well.
Without removing your liquidity, you can just pull out. The Uniswap does that same thing too. Now you can pull out like your rewards without actually removing the stake or liquidity providing. So yeah.
Yeah, if you're staking PLSX and you're earning PRT party token, for example, you can harvest what you've earned up until that point, but keep your stake, your principal stake active.
All right. So besides the voting DAO and making sure that the balances are correct with Pulse and PulseX, which is what they've been cleaning up lately, and the AMM bot, is there anything else that they need to battle test before launching Pulsechain?
In the private Telegram group for the Pulsechain dev chat, there actually are some additional issues we're seeing with validators in the rotation. We have some problems and concerns we need to work out.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'll spare you all the technical nerdy details, but it has to do with validators, and bad ones are getting into rotation and they're not getting kicked out quick enough. So that's why if you go to the block explorer, like scan.v2.pulsechain, it's like 4 seconds, 4.5 seconds, because these bad validators keep getting back into rotation because somebody's voting for them, and we need a way to like kick them out and ban them.
And
I'm
then,
just cracking up reading chat here. Poor Toth, he keeps getting. They keep saying thought instead of Toth. You know, they don't know the difference. Oh God, you're gonna have to change your name eventually, man. Just call yourself Egyptian God Child or something.
liquidity for V3 is the only other thing, but that's not necessary for launch. We don't have to have it, so yeah, it's close. Fix a couple problems here and there, and I think we launch way before September.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I really do.
yeah.
I'm not the one running a server, so I don't have the information on that. So I'm just gonna lean. I'm not gonna try to make a prediction, but you know what? I'm not in a rush because, like, literally, who sold their hex year one is happy about it. So why do I care whether Pulse happens a month from now or 2 months from now? It does, or even 3 months from now. It doesn't matter to me because, like, I'm not selling for at least 2 years because you have to give it some time to mature. And if you just look at what Hex did with maximum gatekeeping, right? And then you look at Pulse, which is something that literally, whether you want it or not, you're getting it, right? So everybody is participating in Pulse, whether or not they want it or not. They're going to have those coins, and nobody's just going to leave those coins sitting there if they know about them. And they're probably going to be mad at all the influencers that don't tell them that they're there once they find out. So I mean, dude, this is such a game of checkmate. It's insane. Who's telling everybody about their Pulse tokens that they're getting for free? Us. Are the influencers, the regular influencers, doing that? No. You think their followers are not going to come back on them and say, well, why didn't you tell me I had all this free shit? I had all this free shit over here and you didn't even tell me? Why didn't you tell me? You think they're going to respect them after that?
Nope.
What are they going to look to? The people that are telling them the truth. I mean, all of this, everything here is like checkmate, game, set, point.
Yeah.
You know, it's,
And they have to address it because people in their chat are going to be screaming about it once it launches, right? Like if you go into any big streamer's chat, they're going to be asking about it. So how could they
make a
ignore it?
video calling all of them out and just screenshot them admitting that they have Pulse, they sacrificed for Pulsechain?
K4K's already started this. He did that for it today.
Yeah.
We've been playing that game with them for like 2 years now. You know, I've got like all the influencers blocked. That's how I ended up starting out here, because I was literally calling people out on BS, and that was my thing back in the day. And eventually they got real quiet. So like,
and you're still here, and a lot of them
you
aren't
don't hear
anymore.
from anymore. Got
Yeah,
real
exactly.
quiet.
Yep.
But this is a situation where it's not like we're selling anybody anything. We're just trying to inform them what they are already getting and where to find it and where they can trade it. So we are literally not selling you anything. We're just telling you what's happening, what's going to happen, where you're going to be able to find those coins, where you're going to be able to trade those coins. And whether you agree or disagree to participate or not, it's still going to happen, and the coins are still going to be there. The only problem is nobody wants to seem to tell you about it, except for us. How's this going to play out, guys?
Yeah. Have you guys taken a look at Maximus DAO yet?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So what are your take on that, David?
So it's in audit right now. So let me say that first. It has not been audited. We're waiting for the results of that. It should be done next week. Then we can go and, then let's read the audit, right? But what is Maximus? It's kind of a cool idea. It's a hex derivative. So what you do is there's going to be this 2-week window, and you're going to put in a hex. And that hex is going to join the pool of everybody else's hex. And then it's going to get 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. And for every hex you throw in, you get a Maxi token, a Maximus or whatever, MAXI, and you hold on to that. And then you'll be able to buy and trade these Maxi. All the Maxi that ever exists is only from the hex that's put in during that first 2-week window, and then it gets locked, and then there's no more ever minted. And then if you have Maxi at the end of the 5555, you get the original 1 hex plus all the hex that was due for that T-share for that hex, plus all the Hedron. So really, it's a giant pooled 555 stake, and you get a derivative token in return. So it's interesting.
It's pooled up to 150 million hex, I understand. Is that right? So because
I didn't know there was a cap. I was not aware of that.
Well, because the bigger pays better bonus ends at 150 million hex. So you get 10% up to 150 million hex. A lot of us don't know that because that's a lot of hex and we're not all whales.
Yeah.
But if you did have that insane amount of hex, your bigger pays better bonus would tap out, I believe, at 150 mil. So I think what they're trying to do is pool 150 mil hex, stake it for 5555 to max out both bonuses, and then they're issuing a derivative token, the Maxi token. This sounds like their intention. Again, it hasn't been audited. It's not even running yet.
It's
even
on
as
the
far as
testnet, but it's not audited.
I'm personally just not a fan of pools. I like the self-sovereignty. I'm not a fan of pooling. So that's just kind of my aspect.
Yeah.
Well, and
I don't know anything about this particular product. Just in general, I'm not a fan of pools.
Yeah, it's a smart contract, so it's all, it's all in the software. And here's the real stick of it is this Maxi token should trend near hex, right? Like the price of 1 hex should be near the Maxi, but Maxi's going to have its own chart. So sometimes it's going to go higher at a premium, and that's when you sell. And sometimes it's going to go lower, and you could buy in a discount. But in the end, it's going to track the price of hex and the 555 over 15 years. So it's
Well,
kind
I guess
of
if you could
my thought is if you got hundreds of millions of Pulse, and you got hundreds of millions of PulseX, and you got millions and millions of hex, who cares?
so you're saying you don't need a pool if you're that big anyways.
Right. I mean, it's nice to get the extra Hedron because that's just something that's minted for free. But it doesn't have the complications or it does if you've got the second layer of risk because you've got that secondary contract if you're doing the secondary contract. But this also sounds like, people are going to build things, people are going to do stuff, but I just, for me personally, I don't see much of it.
Here's a tech question. Do we need to mint our Hedron on ETH before Pulsechain launches to get the copy?
Nope.
I don't think so.
No, it's identical on the other side. You don't have to do anything.
No,
it
would be just like good accounting a stake on Ethereum. That good accounting contract is going to show up on Pulsechain as well. So,
yeah, it's a copy of the system state as it is, and that is another thing that's on the system state. So it will copy at that point and branch off into the parallel universe. So you'll have it on both sides.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Now here's a fun game. Who's one of the first haters? Who's the next hater to flip from a Richard Hart hater to a Richard Hart disciple? A lot of people are claiming BitBoy's gonna be overcome by FOMO.
I think BitBoy is probably going to step up to the plate. I think he's going to, he's going to do what's in his best interest, and what's going to be in his best interest is to pump his own bag, and his own bag is Pulse. He's got it. He's going to want to be where the money is at some point. His follower, but see, these guys don't get the interaction like we do, right? They're not communicating as much with their live chat. They're not really getting, they might have 1 million followers, but do they really get the engagement?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
Based on their Twitter activity, I doubt it, man. I don't really think so. I think it's all ghost followers and bots.
I really do. I mean, it's just like, these Bitcoin maxis are getting more attention from talking to Richard than they would normally get.
I know, right?
Cares.
Yeah, Richard's stream had 10 times the viewers than the Bitcoin magazine stream at the same time. Like 10 times more was
10
watching
times
Richard.
The viewership, yeah. And then, you see Tone's little party over there where it's 3 guys on the stage heckling the people that are actually successful in building things. How lame is that? Hey, let me go have a drink with my buddies and we can all bitch about the fact that we're incompetent and everybody else is creating cool shit. So let's make fun of the people creating the cool shit. Let's put Richard in the same classification as Elon Musk and Zuckerberg and whoever else they threw out there. Let's put out the people that built stuff that made a lot of money doing so, while we just laugh over here like we're better than them, even though we don't build anything. I mean, it was so lame. And then what do they have? 10 people in their audience?
It was ridiculous.
What's crazy?
I was just even watching the Crypto Worldcon, and I'm like, dude, we probably got more people there that are our people than actually showed up for this thing. The PulseCon is probably going to be off the hook. I mean, there's going to be, but I'm just looking at these crypto events. I mean, even the one Nerd Girl was streaming from, it's like, okay, look, it looks like about 50 people there. That's probably a good turnout for them, right? 50 people is probably a good turnout for them. This is what happens when you go this exclusivity route, right? Oh, you're not good enough unless you own Bitcoin. You know what happens when you exclude people? It's the opposite of adoption. You become the people, you become the snobs that nobody wants to hang out with. And you sit by yourself with your couple friends and you laugh at your own jokes because nobody else gets it. Nobody else cares. You become isolated. You don't build adoption. Adoption has to do with welcoming people, not trying to say I'm better than you. That's not how you build a community. You don't build a community by trying to say I'm better than you. And that's where they are losing their power, is because they're trying to push this bravado that they're better than everybody else. You can't do that. You can't build adoption by doing that. Is
Hedron gaining a staking feature? Asks Joshua. I haven't heard of it, and as far as I know, it's locked and immutable. So it'd have to be another thing built onto something else.
It has a staking feature. Hedron has a staking feature. It's its own separate contract for staking for the. Oh, you mean just like a regular?
I think they're asking if you can stake Hedron token.
Oh, okay.
But I don't think so.
And the answer is no. It won't have a staking thing. It would have to be a separate smart contract, a whole different project. Yeah, that's it.
Connor asked, I'd like to hear 2 years from now, what does $1,000 SAC equal in dollars if you don't touch it for 2 years?
I'll be able to tell you.
Yeah, man. I mean, so that $1,000 SAC 2 years from now, if Pulsechain does a 100x, you got $100,000. You got half a house there. That's totally doable, easily doable. 100x 2 years, sure. I consider that conservative, right?
You'll be tempted to cash it out and ball out at 2 years, and that's why we push the 5-year narrative. Is you're gonna be tempted in 2 years. You're gonna want to buy a house, buy a Lambo, retire your mom, whatever it is.
Why did people sell Bitcoin for 30 cents? Because tens of thousands of dollars was completely unfathomable to them. Why did people sell Bitcoin for $1? Why did Bitcoin people sell for $100? Why did Bitcoin people sell for $1,000? Again, none of these numbers seemed conceivable at the time. These people that sold thought that they were selling the top. They thought it was over. They thought it was done. Bitcoin died 400 times. Hex has only died like 12 times. Okay. We got 388 times to go yet. So y'all just hold on and quit worrying about what it's going to do right now and just see what happens.
You're right,
Yeah.
You
man.
might be amazed.
And that scammer of the year part with Tone and those guys, I actually thought it was a replay of 2 years before, because they
No, and
said
then they started talking about,
the
and
same
now he did
jokes.
another one. Oh my God, this Richard guy, he built something else. Oh yeah, he built one thing that was successful, and now he's building something else that's successful. What are you doing?
The only
Bitching
reason
about
I
it?
knew it was new is because Tone claimed that Richard launched Pulsechain in 2021, which is just a silly thing to say, just
Yeah, I had no
completely
clue.
incorrect. And then we talked about the fire alarm getting pulled earlier, Crypto Callow, if you rewind up there. But yeah, it was the same hardy har stupidity they've said for 3 years in a row. But if you look at the chart for the last 3 years, the joke is Bitcoin. As Richard kept pointing out, he's like, everything beats you, even stuff that
Even
has
Doge beats
no
you, yeah.
business being speculated on is beating you. And that's when he, of course, is like, oh, I don't care about the money. It's like, oh, okay,
I lost,
well,
but let me say I don't
that's
care
a
about
lie.
the thing that you pointed out that I lost on. Yeah.
Right. So
And then
yeah,
5 seconds later, talk about it being, well, it wouldn't be $50,000 then, would it, if it wasn't good? Hey, bud, I got news for you. I got news for you. There is always a market for people that are willing to overpay for shit and brag about it.
Mhm.
Congratulations. Bitcoin is that thing that you brag about overpaying for. That's why
And
there
it's
are Rolexes
not about the
and
money.
Lambos and everything else. Yeah.
Awesome. I'm looking for some more questions here in the chat. Other than that, yeah, it's been a good show. A lot of stuff going over here. The tech stuff is kind of been where it's been since V2 B launched. We're still getting to play with some new stuff and some new interfaces, which is great. We have noticed a lot of stuff coming online since one of the developers apparently came back from from vacation. So some of the guys watching GitLab have been noticing that. Have you noticed that, David?
Yeah, his name is Shane. Yeah, Shane's back. He's doing great. We had another bug actually on the staking website. All the names on the validators got erased. I woke up to that today. No clue why, no idea why. I tweeted out about it, but not sure what happened. So we still got some glitches we've got to work out.
Mm-hmm. With the apparent returns on PulseX, does that yet make you more bullish on Pulse? I mean, if 100K can return me 1 to 40% a month, wouldn't that make more sense for the general population than 1 to 4% a year?
To answer this, we
Are
looked
they
at
referring to the testnet returns or just?
I don't know.
We got a
Okay.
Maxi in our comments. That's cool.
Mm.
But it's gonna hit $1 million. Yeah. Okay.
Just have exposure to both, folks. If they both do 10,000x, then your money's going to end up in the same place.
Yeah. Uncle Will loved meeting Dave and Rags at Naga's party in Vegas. So now you guys know who is lacing the drinks.
Dude, I tried to find the furthest place away from the tequila bar because everybody kept feeding me shots.
Party. That was pure me there. Freddie's party. I'm missing about 5 hours. I'm waiting for the send me hex, or I will expose this video things to come back. Too late. Motley just threw one up there for free. Apparently, I sang very, very badly. Yeah. Wife watched the playback of that. She's like, "Oh my God, that was you singing? That is awful. You have never sang that bad your entire life." It's like, "Oh my God, it's horrible." It's like, I would have married you.
Savage.
People liked your white dinner jacket at the party, Rags.
Styling.
Yeah. We're going to surprise some people next time too. See what we can do.
Now I got to take a break from these parties because I've been up and down the road and all over the damn place. My beagle's going crazy. My wife's having a nervous breakdown, from being gone all the damn time. So it's like, yeah, I'm gonna settle down on this whole party thing here for a little bit. Wait a couple of years. My kids will be grown. They can do their own thing while we're gone and stuff, and I can take the wife with. So I'm going to take it easy here for a little bit. So you guys won't see me at these events coming up here for right now. So that's why I said, I was like very vocal about, y'all want to meet me. You should have came down to this one because, I'm not a traveler. I travel for conventions and stuff when I have to, but now I don't really have to because I'm not chasing these conventions to make $1 anymore. I'm not getting paid. I'm spending money. I'm not making money. So it's a different world now. So if I don't have to do things, I'm not going to do things. It's not anything against the PulseCon. I think it's going to be awesome. You guys have a great time. I'm not really generally a party animal. I partied a little bit too much at Freddy's. That's probably enough to do me for 5 years. Jesus. But I wanted to have a good time and hang out with you guys and meet everybody, and it was awesome to do that. And I appreciate it.
I thought you were going to start hustling people for hex at the
pool table.
Pool table, yeah. Be like, let's make this interesting. All right,
100,000 hex.
Yeah,
a ball. Let's go.
Hey, Rags, do you want to give a shout out to where you rented your clothes from in Vegas? The person that hooked you up.
Oh yeah. Hold on. Let me look it up.
Okay, look it up, and I'll read Bobby Hexelrod.
Yeah.
It's not about the money. Oh, okay. So what does that look like? Come for the streams, but stay for the losses. Thomas Turner says, "Do your passion, Johnny." And Hex Live says, "I met Johnny."
Bridal Elegance. That's the name of the place.
Bridal Elegance. Because when I think of brides and I think of elegance, I think of rags to riches.
Dude, I didn't have a ticket. I wasn't going to the thing, and then I got a ticket. And dude, she hooked me up in like an hour and a half. Made the alterations, everything. Just hung out. I thought it was awesome.
Here's a techie question. After the recent hack on Ronin Bridge hack, how is our Pulse Ramp Bridge more secure?
Well, yeah.
I don't know much about the bridge personally. I'm not a developer myself, so I don't know the software, and that's a great question. I don't know.
Lots of different bridges out there. A lot of different bridges. And what has come out is that they're not telling us where they got the bridge, but it is the most secure bridge that they could get their hands on in the code.
Well, and Richard did mention when we had the Infura problem recently, how many, like you said, many networks, many bridges may be the answer to if one of the bridges gets down. Because I have no idea what the vectors or surfaces of attack are for a bridge. So I'm not a dev.
Like the worst is like the way they get hacked, and I'm not positive on this, but I've read some stories about other ones where a real good hacker, they're going to read the bridge contract, they're going to find a bug, and then they're going to send a command to the bridge, and they're going to trick the bridge that they're the admin wallet, and then the bridge software contract sends all the coins to them. That's 9 times out of 10 how it goes down. It's just like some stupid glitch in the code, and just one command, and boom, they got it.
Sandy Beach is calling for a pink tuxedo next time, Rags.
I think we could make that happen if you guys raise enough hex to donate to my pink tuxedo fund. How about that?
You get to the orange, I'll do the baby blue, we'll do the Dumb and Dumber.
That's
true. Colored suits.
I was trying to find one of those before we went to Vegas, but my wife would.
I don't think anybody's
would not put the other one on.
Wearing it. They'll be like, "Oh, those guys are stupid."
Dude, if I start now, I could create a pretty loud mullet by September. I mean, we could do it up big, man.
Oh shoot, that's funny. Call for Teletubbies. I'd rock a Teletubby suit depending on how cold it was.
Dude, you rock a Teletubby suit on a Sunday night. Shut up.
Motley Investor in the house. Vince and Yosh.
Oh, they
already did the Dumb and Dumber tuxedos. It's over.
Taken.
You have to come up with another one. Maybe we could dress up like the brothers from Step Brothers.
Well, that's true.
Or Blues Brothers. I do that.
Or dude, could we do like Braveheart, you and me, feeder?
Oh
Could be
man,
my-
kilts and body paint,
Yes.
just blue paint.
Yes.
Oh, dude, all right.
Dude, be
Speaking
like
of
my best
That's a
friend.
makeup
Dude.
shop.
all right,
I
speaking
got
of
airbrush
kilts, and
makeup. It doesn't smear. We just
Let's go.
do you have plans of doing a couple of body models with the pulse paint?
So I didn't tell I well, I kind of sort of said this, but I didn't really say it. So I've got friends that are international renowned body painters. Okay. So not me as a body painter. I've got friends that are like internationally renowned competitive body painters. And some of the stuff I shared was, some of their work. And now 3 of them are Hexicans because they don't get a retirement plan. They are gig workers. They don't have a 401k. They don't have an IRA. What they have is stacks of cash that they get when they do big events, and they've got no place to put it. How interesting is that? And then they don't have a way to save for the future because gig workers, if we don't work, we don't get paid, right? So they need to have a way to do that and have supplemental income. So staking ladders are a way to supplemental income. It allows them to earn over time, and it is a perfect market fit for the gig worker industry. And they are very, very excited, and they all got in at 10 cents. How sweet is that?
So basically, this is a way for people to set up their own annuity, their own retirement.
Yeah.
Where there really isn't any great options for them in the market right now.
Right. And it's perfect for that. And so these guys are now also Hexicans, and they're also know that the Pulsechain's coming out, and they're getting their copy. And we have had discussions about why don't we have a gathering at my place? We'll pull in the models and let's just do this. Let's do up some pulse paints and stuff, because I tried to get it into like the conventions, and have them hire the artists to come do it. But I think this is kind of a good route too. It still might cost me. I still might have to fly them in because, these guys are kind of on budget, right now. They're not that wealthy yet. So, but yeah, it'd be something, it's in their best interest to do these type of paints, or maybe I won't fly them in. Maybe we'll just do a like an online thing where we put together and we take our models and we paint them. So yeah, I think it's a great way. It's nicer in a convention setting because body paint is something that people would get pictures with the models, like they do at all these trade shows and stuff. They get pictures with the models, and then they share those pictures on social media. Then it creates that conversation because people are like, "Oh, that's cool. She's hot. That's neat logo. What's that logo about?" Right? Because people keep photos. They throw away business cards. They keep photos. Okay, so it would be an excellent way to market. And it's been utilized in lots of different ways to promote things because even the artists that have their own following, they will share pictures of their work. And then people will ask from their following, well, what is that? Why are you doing that? What is that about? What's the idea behind this paint? So it's kind of promotion all the way around to do body painting. So yeah, I want to do something like that in the future. I'm in the talks with the guys about it on what to do, and we'll see how it turns out. No promises, no expectation to work from others, but it'll probably happen at some point.
Yeah. Let me do a little shout out to any of my, speaking of partying and kilts and face paint, there's quite a few festivals going on this summer that I've been trying to drag Rags and some other friends to. They all have lives and responsibilities, which is ridiculous to me. But there is a regional burn on the border.
We met X-Ray Chick. We know you've got a life too.
Yeah.
Don't try to lie.
She tries to keep me grounded. We got there's a regional burn going on the border of Utah and Idaho, June 22nd. So if anyone wants to, look that one up, that one's called E11. You can look that one up online and on Facebook. E11, that's Utah's regional burn. And then on the 4th of July, there's something called 4th of July, which is basically an unofficial Burning Man. It's kind of like relaxed. There's no tickets. There's no gate. There's nothing out there. You bring everything you need to survive. But last year there was about 10,000 people the last night we were there, there was a 200 drone show because they didn't do the effigy and the burning last year. So yeah, we got some people in the chat here want to show up to that too. So that one's July, the 4th of July up there, and that's in the same place that Burning Man takes place, which is outside of Reno at Black Rock City. So that one's in July. And then of course the big Burning Man is returning the week before PulseCon. So the end of August, and it ends the 5th of September. PulseCon starts the 6th of September. And so the mist hexes like Crypto Kool-Aid and some of those guys, Cosmic Cowboy, they're going to be up there at the big burn and then turn and burn and drive from the burn down to PulseCon. So it's going to be pretty interesting there.
That's a crazy 2 weeks. Oh, man.
Well, it's 3 weeks, actually, because they're going to go out a week ahead of time and help build the city, because a whole city springs out of nothing in a week. It goes from a salt flat to a literal city. I think there's going to be like 70,000 people at Burning Man this year.
Whoa.
And so they'll build it, they'll party for the week, then they're going to try to get 24 hours of sleep and then drive down to Las Vegas for PulseCon. So if any of those things sound cool, hit me up. And then on the East Coast, for you people that enjoy populated areas and craziness, there's the Love Burn that's right around Valentine's Day, and that one's on an island off of Miami. So that's Florida's Burning Man, or regional burn, is going to be around February 15th down there. So those are some places that you can catch X-Ray Vision this year, wearing a cult kilt, face makeup, gaudy jewelry. Who knows? You never know what you'll catch me wearing out there, but there will definitely be some LEDs on my body and on my bike. So definitely that if you Hexicans want to party, there's some upcoming parties besides while you're waiting for PulseCon. So yeah, there's my little public announcement.
I like I don't like the big party settings. I like the little gatherings, and me and Hexo were talking about this too. It's nice to take a group of people and just meet with that group of people and be able to have conversations and stuff versus, like the bigger conventions where like you get 5 minutes of time with people and it's like speed dating, you're just going through talking to people, and it's inconvenient because you cannot talk to everybody. There were people that I missed at the convention that I did not get to talk to, and I'm kind of sad that I didn't. There are other people that I wish I had more time to speak with, but I didn't. So it's hard. It's hard to get to everybody. And then there were like times when I was trying to run to the bathroom and I couldn't get to the bathroom because it took me 2 hours to get there because I had to talk to people all the way there. It's like, guys, all right, look, I'll be right back. I gotta go.
Yeah.
But it was crazy. I mean, it was fun. It's exhausting because you're switching from person to person and conversation, taking in all this information in your head. It's really exhausting. But I agree with that. Smaller meetups.
Well, when at both Freddie's party and at Naga's party, it was like the coolest group of people that you didn't have time to actually sit down and talk to. Like everyone you saw was awesome. You want to talk to them, but you were bouncing from person to person. Sometimes it's rather loud. But the dinners that we set up in Vegas were really great. Little groups of 6 to 10 people where you got to sit down and enjoy a meal. Well, I really enjoyed those times and those experiences.
I got to sit down with Coffee and Hexo and Hexo's wife and one of their friends that's Explosive Art or something. And we got to sit down and we hung out in the lounge in the Luxor, and that was cool times, sitting down and having conversation. Then, Freddie's party was awesome because it was a hopping party. Don't get me wrong. But I mean, there were, people were coming in and leaving. So you got to engage with people as they came in and left. Then of course, I wish I didn't miss like part of that. I apparently had plenty of conversations I don't remember, but That was cool too. So I like the little parties. Naga's party was fun. The only problem with Naga's party was I was trying to shoot that stupid video average crypto influencer. So I was kind of creeping around most of the time shooting that video. So I was kind of working while I was there, trying to get that footage for fun because I thought it would make everybody laugh. So
I know.
yeah,
I just dodged Francis too. I saw Francis coming. I was like, no. I don't want to talk to him. I can't. No. What? You thankfully you went right by me, and I was like, okay. I just slowly crept away. Like, gotta back off here.
And RG wouldn't even talk to me. I tried to get him on camera talking to Francis. He wouldn't even talk to me. He was just like, just looked at me with a blank stare. I'm like, okay, fine. He doesn't want to play along. Let's keep going. Because there's only so much time in that party to to do that thing. So it was cool.
Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to some of the gatherings there in September for sure. So other than that, yeah, you guys on the East Coast need to be putting together some get-togethers, somewhere to hang out. Hopefully somewhere with parking though, because there is no parking on the East Coast we found.
What? That's the strangest complaint I've ever heard about the East Coast my whole life, and I've lived here forever. There's no parking. There's plenty of fucking what?
All right. Apparently, Dave Feeder is going to be my driver as I go whenever I show up over there.
We have apps for that. It shows you right where to park, and you just.
And Motley, we got to take a trip to like a real karaoke bar where I'm not totally gone, so we can see that is not normal.
Awesome. Well, let me have you guys shill all of your sites and where to get a hold of you, what you got going on, and we'll wrap this up. So we're getting close to 2 hours. We'll let people go on and watch the other 18 streams that they've got to catch up with today.
Right.
Go ahead, Johnny. Why don't you start off with where can people follow Johnny Chaos?
Are we following me? I'm trying to do the branded thing. Don't like, don't subscribe, don't follow. I'm trying to hide and be invisible. I'm trying to pass it off to the rest of y'all who like the attention. I like to hide in my shop by myself, alone, quietly most of the time. But if you really got to find me, you'll find me on Twitter under CCFX Studios on Twitter.
Awesome. Yeah, and we got that down on the bottom of the screen right now, so that you can follow him there. And David, what are you working on, and where can people keep up with your stuff?
I'm also on Twitter at David Feeder. I'm also on YouTube, just David Feeder. Right now, I'm just enjoying the testnet, playing around. Yeah, it's just I'm keeping an eye on the GitLab, and I'm watching the Telegram private dev chat. We're okay for now. We got some bugs, little things we're going to work out. But I'll keep you all posted as more crazy stuff happens.
Awesome. And Rags, I don't think you're anywhere on YouTube, are you?
No, well, I'm on the internet, gstringdivas.edu, and if you're if you're at work, you could try ragstorichessquad.com. ragstorichessquad.com.
Yeah. All right, awesome. And me, you can catch me at Hexray Vision everywhere. If you guys see something crazy on Instagram that looks like it's definitely a scam, that's just my marketing team trying to get more people over to YouTube and Twitter. So come check me out on Instagram, LinkedIn. Hire me on LinkedIn for something. I don't know.
LinkedIn. Oh my God.
Check me out there. Check me out on Facebook. Today you can see me in my backyard putting in a pond for my wife. Hexray Chick is inheriting some koi fish from her mom, and so we're moving heavy rocks and putting in pumps and sand.
Rags to Riches Squad with a D, not squat.
Rags to Riches Squad. That's his subscription site, is Rags to Riches
Squat. Yeah.
Oh, and thank you for everyone. Thank you for the likes, the comments, and for subscribing to the channel. I spend most of my time on Twitter, so following Johnny and Rags and David and Richard Hart. So you guys just you guys have a great week. Next week I'm going to be I'll be traveling next week, so next Sunday there's no Tech Talk.
Thank God.
so catch me in a couple of Sundays. We'll be doing this again, and hopefully in the next 2 weeks we'll have tons of new questions to answer and tons of update on Testnet. So we will see you guys
When
there.
I'm not disrupting it and making it chaotic.
Yes, thank you so much for Johnny for joining us. Usually he's just in the chats trolling and taking over, so it's nice to actually have his face on screen, his beautiful face. So
Agreed.
Anyways, thank you very much, and you guys have a wonderful week. Thanks again for coming. Bye.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Bye, Hexkins. See ya.